Good morning, everybody. So this is my 6-year Ampuversary update. In this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some prosthetics stuff, my residual limb, and some mobility aids. So starting right off, last year, I started the process of getting a new socket. I have that socket. I've been wearing this now for about 11 months. And what the idea was behind this socket was to make it a little bit heavier duty than my old socket, with the intention that this is what I would be wearing for work. On that note, that old socket that I showed you last year, I still have it and I still wear it. And boy, oh boy, it has taken a beating, but we're patching it up and I'm still wearing it for work just because it is so comfortable. We managed to make some changes to improve the comfort, and I'm just going to run this thing until it can't run anymore. So there's a comparison between something that's new and something that is now, I think this one is about 5 years old, this socket. A couple of things that we did, you can see, I'm not sure how well you see it in the video, but the actual carbon fiber is a bit thicker. The inner flexible liner is a little bit thicker. And at the bottom of the socket for this offset post, what we did is we made it a little bit of a smoother transition. So that was it. The reason why we did this smooth transition is just to protect the pin lock assembly from abrasion, from getting knocked around. This is a little bit more hidden. It's actually recessed. Now, one of the downsides of doing that is that this socket actually ended up being pretty heavy, and it does bother me on a long day. When we redo this, I think we're going to go back to just making as light as possible a socket. It's interesting for a prosthetic foot. If that prosthetic foot weighs a little bit more, that's stuff falling over in the background. If the prosthetic foot itself weighs a little bit more, but it still has good energy return, you don't really notice the weight as much. The socket itself doesn't rebound with any energy. So if there's a little bit of difference in weight, I seem to really feel that. So that's what's happening with that. Oh, and then one more thing with this new socket. Because it's a little bit, the construction of it was a little bit longer than my work one, I cannot wear my fill hour foot with it. You can see I've actually been using this quite a bit for work. You can see the wear and tear on the torsion component, and I have replaced the split foot shell. So this will normally go onto this socket. Leg number 3, what we've done is this peg leg, or the stomper foot, used to be on a quick adapter for this, but now that I have this spare socket, I basically just made a permanent mount. And actually I use this a little bit for working out, a little bit of light yoga. I find that if I'm lifting weights and doing a squat, this is a little bit more comfortable to wear, because on a regular prosthetic foot, because there's no ankle, your foot will tend to rise as you go into a squat position, where this basically stays planted on the floor. So that's sort of what I wear that for. Now, residual limb. I'm going to show you what that looks like after 6 years. Now, I have the Erdl style below knee amputation, a little bit different than a standard transtibial, but one of the big advantages with the Erdl is that there is no flabby, loose tissue. That's about probably as much atrophy as I'm going to get post-amputation. You can see my fibular head's quite prominent. That's the scar. The tibia has been rounded off, and it is attached with a periosteum graft to the fibula. But yeah, like I see a lot of, one of the big complaints I hear with below knee amputations is that the calf muscles start to sag after a while. The way that the Erdl amputation is constructed, you don't end up with any of that. So got a little bit of a frown with my scar, but yeah, there's no loose flabby tissue, and I can actually, you see, I can flex that's flexing my calf muscle, which actually makes the stump kind of flex a little bit sideways. There you go. I don't have the ability to lift up my imaginary foot. There you go. No problems really. You get a little bit of redness on the shin. The liner causes a little bit of redness around my knee. That's nothing to be concerned about. So long as those discolorations go away quickly, once you take off your leg, you're fine. If they persist or they start to get sore, you see it's actually abrading the skin, and that's something that really needs to be addressed. Liners, I normally trim my liners down a little bit. This is the shortest liner I have, and I have two liners. I rotate them. They're cut different lengths, and what the different lengths do is I can alternate liner from day to day, and I don't end up with one welt on my thigh where the liner ends. So I'll show you how quick this stuff goes on once you become what they call a mature amputee. That's the liner. That's a ply sock. That's the leg. And in we go. There we go. Now, mobility aids. Still use forearm crutches if I don't absolutely have to wear my leg. Work long hours, and it really feels good at the end of the day to take this sucker off. So if we're going out at night, a lot of times I'll just use these. It's different for different amputees. Some amputees, they don't like to go out at all without their prosthesis. Me, it doesn't really bother me. The other thing I've actually used a little bit this year is a wheelchair. And I kind of poo-pooed the idea for a long time, didn't want to use my wheelchair, but I used it a couple times shopping at the mall. And let me tell you, if you got a long ways to go on a hard flat surface, you can scoot along pretty good in a wheelchair. So it's actually a bit, that mobility aid is a little bit of an advantage if you were to ask me. So there you have it. I will try my best to post more videos in 2026. If you have any questions, you can drop them down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, guys, take care.